Welcome to the 359. I'm Roger Chang.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Facebook posted its earnings investigation into its data privacy practices. $5 billion seems like a lot, but they've already parked $3 billion.
Yeah,
aside,
so
right?
they imagine somebody that like constantly parks at fire hydrants in places that they're not allowed to park
Jerks.
in.
Yeah.
And they do it because they set money aside to pay for all those tickets that keep coming.
Got a parking fine fund.
That is basically what Facebook is doing here with about $3 billion.
Yeah.
Like they're expecting this massive record-setting fine from the FTC to arrive, and they've put aside that kind of money for it. Not, we're going to stop parking in places where we shouldn't be parking, but rather, we have the money for it, because obviously it didn't really make that much of a dent.
Yeah, keep in mind, in the first quarter, the company posted revenue of more than $15 billion, which is better than expected. And despite the fact that the controversies are taking a bite out of its profits, its revenue is still growing, and the number of users are still growing. So,
and their stock went up after they had
Yep.
announced this. It's just, I don't know what it would take for investors to sour on Facebook, because everything that's happened doesn't seem to be the right thing, and yet the money keeps rising.
Advertisers are still locked in. Next week, we've got Facebook's F8 conference. Our own Queenie Wong laid out some of the big themes, including more of a focus on privacy, big surprise, messaging apps, as well as virtual reality. You think that any of that stuff's going to get through, or are we all just going to be talking about the privacy issues?
That's another thing that makes me think, what will happen to, like, with their stock. Like, by switching to this new privacy model that they keep talking about, it's going to be much harder to monetize based off of user data.
Yep.
It'll be much harder to moderate it also if every communication is encrypted end-to-end and private. So it's just...
Well, I don't think they're going as far as making everything end-to-end yet. I know they've talked about...
They're doing that for Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, but I know they're talking about, at least with some of the messaging apps, opening it up so things work together better, but I don't know if that necessarily means everything is going to be end-to-end encrypted.
It's supposed to be. They're working on it.
That's the vision, but I don't know if that's going to be the near-term thing. So next up, we've got a CNET scoop. We're first to report that Verizon is rolling out 5G into 20 new cities, and you check out the story for all the cities. More interestingly, they're launching the Galaxy S10 5G on May 16th for a whopping $1,300 or $1,400 for the 512 gigabyte option.
Will the 5G speed be so fast that the screen falls off?
That's the fold. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Wrong carrier, wrong device. We'll see. Keep in mind, beyond the price of the phone, you've got to pay $10 extra for 5G. So I don't know if it's really worth it.
I mean, like, how much faster could it really be? I mean, you know all about it.
A lot faster when you get 5G, but you can't get 5G pretty much anywhere except for a few spots. So
this doesn't sound like it's worth it at all.
Yeah. All right, lastly, if you have a hacked Fire TV stick running streaming video, you may want to consider disconnecting it. After you were on the story, what's going on with this?
Yeah, so security researchers from the Digital Citizens Alliance and Dark Wolf Consulting had...
I love that name.
Yeah, it's very interesting. They had taken a look at the 6 most popular kinds of apps for these bootleg streaming sticks.
Yep.
So if you're not familiar with them, they're basically like modded Fire TV sticks or modded like Rokus that'll get in these like channels that, you can watch HBO and Netflix for free on things like this.
And like you have like a catalog of streaming movies and TV shows, right?
Yeah, so they're filled with malware.
Right.
The majority of them are, at least. In one case, when he plugged it in and connected it to his Wi-Fi network, it started like siphoning off all this data, and like including his Wi-Fi password, and sending it to a server out in Indonesia.
Right.
And a lot of people don't think that, I'm not installing anything on this, like I'm not installing any viruses on it, but
I think that is the big concern, is that like most people think they're fine because it's just connected to your TV.
Yeah, it's not connected to a computer or anything like that with your bank account.
But that's not the case.
But yeah, because it's connected to your same Wi-Fi network. So if your computer is also on that same Wi-Fi network, it can theoretically like siphon that kind of sensitive information off of it.
Beyond just disconnecting, is there like any advice for folks?
I would recommend just not buying one in general. I mean, streaming options are so cheap already.
Right.
Do you really need to watch Game of Thrones that badly?
I mean, I do, but I actually legit pay for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Other people pay for it too with their data. It's just 2 ways to pay for these kinds of things.
Right. Some of it just is your privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. All right, for more of these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Roger Chang.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Thanks for watching.
And thanks, everybody, for joining us for the recording of the audio podcast. You know what to do now. Send in your questions and comments, and we'll try to keep that conversation going, tabling as much as we can in the remaining time, which is roughly 20 minutes. All right, so right out the gate, people are never going to be happy with Facebook again. I think it's the end. Like, it's over. It's never. Matthew Datcher says, I wish I could divorce Facebook. Randolph says, I block Facebook on my phone. Dennis is harping on MeWe.com as a great alternative.
Wait, which one?
MeWe?
MeWe.
MeWe.
I don't know. What
Dennis,
that
do
is.
you work for MeWe?
Yeah, are you a MeWe employee?
Might entirely be the case. But New York Fly just asked, why does Facebook keep violating privacy policy?
I mean,
Yeah, that's a pretty good question.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say that that's their business model to purposely violate your privacy policy.
But there's definitely inherent benefit to them using your information to run their business model. Right?
Yeah, like their business model is based on knowing as much about you as possible. I think the big shock is when people find out that they know this much without ever like fully consenting to it or anything like that. Like they'll agree to the terms of services and the privacy policy, but it's not like they actually read it.
Yep.
And then, once they do read it or they find out Facebook is doing something that it's clearly laid out in their privacy policy, that's when like people are really frustrated about it.
Right. And I mean, the criticism is those privacy policies, those terms of services are crazy long.
Yeah.
Full legalese. And yeah, part of the responsibility is on us as users, but we generally click through those things.
Yeah.
really
And they
quickly.
also do a lot of like psychological tricks. I think it's called like, it's kind of like black marketing or something like that. Senator Warner just put out a bill last week, like proposing to end that kind of activity.
How does that work?
It's things like small little psychological ticks that make you more addicted to like social media. So
Oh, got it.
and like things that make it harder for you to like leave the social network or something like that.
Right.
Like just small adjustments in the social network. One example would be something on Snapchat. Snapchat themselves don't do this, but this is what like really egregious, where it's an advertisement, but they purposely put something that looks like a strand of hair on it. So when you try to swipe it away, like you click it or something like that.
Really?
It's things. Yeah, it's like really.
Wow, that is devious.
All right, ready for some more questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way,
Dark patterns, that's what it's called.
I will say, Brian, when you say like Facebook is over, it's not.
I'm clearly being
Yeah,
sarcastic.
no, I'm just saying, like, if you look at those numbers, no, that's the thing, though. There's a lot of discussion. A lot of folks who say, I'm quitting Facebook. I'm leaving it. It's just, but the reality is, like, users are growing and revenue's up, and it's kind of this weird contradiction, right? Like, you see all these problems, that people see these problems and get outraged, but, in terms of the bottom line, like, that hasn't really changed.
I'm also like, how often do you hear people say this, where it's like, I'm done with Facebook, find me on Instagram? Like,
Right, yeah.
people do that a lot. Like, I don't use my Facebook, but I'm on Instagram like every day.
Yeah.
And I understand that they're both owned by the same company.
You're still feeding the same beast, for sure.
It's just one of those things. I think it's one of those things where it's like, do you remember when Super Size Me came out and there was this whole backlash against McDonald's?
Everyone was trying to quit McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that McDonald's is definitely not as favorable anymore as it used to be in its heyday, in the same way Facebook is, but it's still a mega empire that like continues to grow. Like, it's just not like the cool thing anymore, but like it's still like massively
I don't know if it
grown.
was cool before, but you're right. I get what you're saying.
Okay, next question comes from Timothy. What catastrophe or incident will stop everyone from using Facebook? I feel like Facebook and its users are having a parent and child unconditional love. You just can't leave it these days. So what would push you over the edge is essentially what he's saying.
I don't know. That's a good
I don't
question.
know, because I've written about so many of these like crises, and it continues to grow. It's like the final boss in a game that you don't know like what to do against. But for me, I think a big thing would be if they were actively taking people's like money away from them. Like,
Right.
yeah,
If you saw actual tangible damages. Yes. Which we're not there yet.
No, for me, it's literally what the content came whittling down to. I wanted to try to preserve some kind of sympathy and adoration for people in my life, and realizing how many of them are just totally stupid.
the thing that has the biggest shot of taking away users from Facebook is competitors that offer the same services but better. And every time something looks like it's about to come up, Facebook has bought it.
Right.
Or copied it completely. I mean, like think
Instagram and Snapchat are like the two best examples, right?
like I said, yeah, with all these people saying I'm leaving Facebook, but you can find me on Instagram. I'm pretty sure somebody at Facebook years ago saw that coming and was
Right.
like, "Oh, we're gonna buy Instagram."
Right.
Same thing now with WhatsApp, which they like recently
Yep.
purchased,
Yep.
and when they weren't able to buy Snapchat, they just copied it exactly. So,
Right.
Michael Brown says, how do you all feel about actually trying alternatives to Facebook like MeWe.com? Like you did earlier, people bring awareness to alternatives but usually get shot down. Why do you think that is?
I mean, it's hard to commit to all these social networks. Like, I've got a Facebook account, an Instagram account, Twitter account. Like, there's a social media fatigue, right? Like, you've got certain established ones, and it's hard to like jump into new ones. Like, I've tried a bunch of them, and then I just sort of lose
yeah,
interest.
it's
really
easiest to jump on another social network when everyone else there is there already,
Yeah.
or there's a steady
Yeah,
flow
yeah.
of content that like already exists for you. Like,
Yes.
I don't know, like all my friends are on Reddit, but I don't like find them on Reddit. you
Right,
know?
right.
But like there's always content for me on Reddit, so I keep going there and
Right.
like sometimes posting there. Another social network that's like up and coming, if none of my friends are on there and I don't know what kind of content it really offers, like
Yeah.
it's gonna be extremely hard to like for me to get on there. Like
Yeah.
I joined Facebook in high school when a lot of my like the friends that I had that were throwing parties were like, oh, we're like
That's how
putting
we're
the invite on
organizing.
Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
And like
Yeah.
you have to have a reason to like leave something to join something, and not wanting to be on Facebook is not like enough
Right.
of a reason.
Joining for the sake of trying out something new at this point.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, yeah.
Honestly, at this point, like it'd just be better to not be on social media at all.
Right.
I think that's becoming a more popular thing to do, maybe not permanently, but I'm seeing more and more people take media like vacations from it. Like,
Oh yeah.
shut it down
yeah,
for
yeah,
a week
definitely.
or a month. I mean, that's what I'm in the middle of myself right now. I quit Facebook a couple of
Good for
months
you.
ago.
And I would honestly, the way that I've been seeing trends going is like it feels like it's going back to like the '90s where like chat rooms are really popular now. Like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
on like a lot of Discord groups instead.
Yep.
Which are basically just AIM chat rooms,
Mm-hmm.
and then also like group chats. And I know Facebook is trying to corner that too with Facebook
With
Messenger. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
that's kind
haven't-
of the issue. Like, that's how I communicate with a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
Is through Messenger or Line.
And WhatsApp, everybody
WhatsApp.
always remembers. I haven't gotten on board the Discord
But
train
WhatsApp
yet.
again. WhatsApp is another Facebook property. So
Touche, but it is also encrypted.
yes.
So they got at least that much going for them. All right, let's move on to F8 since we're already on the Facebook topic. CMDR Trium asks any news on the new Oculus headset. He wants to specifically know if it's going to require a PC or be standalone.
I believe the Oculus Quest is like the rumored. I think it's going to get launched.
That's the standalone one, right?
That's a standalone one. Doesn't require a powerful computer, but also it's not. I don't believe it's not like a high end VR. Like the graphics are not going to be as great. I think there's a limited number of games as opposed to like the higher end Oculus Rift. I think we are looking at Oculus Rift S is the other one. That's the one that requires a powerful PC. But yeah, so I'm still skeptical about VR. Like it's been years we've been talking about it for a long time. I don't think these are the devices that are gonna like put it on the map.
Yeah.
So
I would
yeah.
disagree with that. I think a lower end, like cheaper one that you don't need a computer for is like exactly
the rumor,
what they should be
not the rumor,
doing.
the price is $400 though.
Yeah,
so that's still
but like how much is like all right, a Nintendo Switch is about like $300. And if you're like more interested in like the VR like content, like it's not that much more.
I think the issue is like with the Nintendo Switch, it's an easier sell.
Yeah.
You know, you've got games and titles and franchises. You know, you've got experience.
Yeah.
Right? It's just you. You put it on and you're in this
Some
VR
people
world. You know,
yeah.
whereas VR is it's very isolating.
Find pleasure in being isolated.
Yeah, sure.
I like being by myself.
I'm
That's
with
true.
you, Alfred. Get out. All right,
yeah.
let's talk a little bit more about Facebook. This one's kind of coming out of left field, but I thought it was an interesting one to touch on. I'm not sure if you got anything on it. Mason is asking, did you guys hear about Facebook starting its own Bitcoin currency? Might actually take off. Facebook cryptocurrency, they're working really hard on it, apparently. I'm not sure where that report's coming from. I haven't heard of this.
I'm not aware of that.
They have
Didn't they have
a,
something like? Didn't they announce some sort of cryptocurrency project? Or-
yeah, they also have their own like blockchain department now.
Okay.
They've been like actively hiring for that. But yeah, this is a story from March where Barclays talks about how Facebook's own cryptocurrency could be worth like a $19 billion revenue
I
opportunity.
guess if you consider the internal marketplace that's built around it, or
Yeah.
that it would
But
drive.
that's a theoretical currency.
Yeah,
that's not
I don't
actively
think
being
if it's
developed.
Barclays, no, I'm assuming that's sort of like a theory as
Yeah.
opposed to
But this is also from CoinDesk, and the Times reported this in February about Facebook like looking to launch its own cryptocurrency in the first half of 2019.
Okay, it could happen. Maybe at F8, we'll see.
So who's going to buy who first? Is Facebook going to buy Disney or Disney going to buy Facebook?
Huh. Oh God. I don't know. That's a really good question. I mean, Facebook would probably have the money,
That's
but
not a good question.
Yeah.
That came from me.
I mean, it's a good what if game. I mean, I think I would dread that day if it happened, but I don't know. Content is extremely attractive
Kingdom
nowadays.
Hearts 4 with Mark Zuckerberg.
He's a secret unlock character.
Isn't Mark Zuckerberg just like a rogue AI that leaked out of the development of Kingdom Hearts and then went sentient?
That's basically the plot of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Is that really?
There's like some AI subplot in there
okay.
that's really
Sure.
complicated.
Of the last one?
The second and a half one or something like that.
Okay, sure. Haven't played any of those games.
The Kingdom Hearts lore is extremely complicated.
Got it. I just know it's the one where like Mickey teams up with a random.
Square Enix character.
In
Yeah.
Final
Yeah,
Fantasy.
that.
Yeah. All right. Let's round things out and go back to the malware story, Alfred's story about the hacked streaming sticks. First, let's just floor a couple things about streaming sticks. CMDR is asking that they were looking at a new 55-inch TV and it was bundled with a smart TV service configured for Canada. Is Roku at all going to become redundant?
I'm pretty sure that smart TV service is it not like a Roku service on that smart TV?
Well, isn't Roku not available in Canada?
I don't know that.
Oh.
Oops.
Oh. Yeah. Is that. I really wish we had Katzmeyer on.
I have a memory of him saying that last time he was on. I could be mistaken though.
Oh. I'm not aware of that.
All right, well then.
I see a headline here that says the Roku channel launches in Canada.
Oh, well there we go.
So anyway, to your question, I mean, I think Roku's got a huge enough base that they're
also why would
they'll be
Roku
okay.
why would Roku be redundant just because it has competitors? Like
right.
Apple TV.
Yeah, keep in mind
is-
exactly.
yeah.
There are a number of competitors out there: Fire TV, Apple TV, Chromecast. Roku is still I think the largest
yeah.
base out of all of them. They've worked a lot with TV makers, like they're built into TCL TVs, and so I don't think they're redundant. I mean, there's definitely a lot of competitive pressure in that area, but they're still doing pretty well as far as I can tell.
Got it.
I do want to ask you about the streaming sticks. Like, is it? As I hear a lot about the Fire TV ones, the hacked devices, but are there other, like, can you get a hacked Chromecast or
Yeah,
a hacked
they have those.
Roku box?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really good across the board.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember I saw a bunch of those when I was at like a flea market one time. Where it was just
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, they were like they had these big banners that were just like this was during CES. I went to the flea market out at CES.
Oh, got
and
it.
was
Yeah.
like,
Well, in Vegas, not
yeah.
not the CES flea
No,
market.
no.
Right. To be clear.
Wait, is there a CES flea market?
No, there isn't.
Yeah, but it was just like, hey, check it out. Like free TV at all times. Don't ever pay for cable again. And I'm like that doesn't sound legal at all.
There's so many legitimate ones out there, though. We've talked time and time again about Pluto. What was the one Joan showed us last time? She helped me get. It was the one that like basically took over-the-air antenna and turned it into streams for you.
Yeah. Sorry.
I know what you're talking about.
I know what
but
you're
I
talking
don't
about,
remember
but
the name.
it's totally slipped my mind.
It's
yeah.
on my phone, which is on the other side of the room, and I can't get up because I'm stuck here pushing buttons. But
Why
anyways,
don't you just get up now, or unless you actively need to hold the button down?
well, I'm constantly pushing buttons. See?
All right.
Yeah. Don't mess with Brian's
Don't.
mojo.
You
don't
want me
mess
to
with the
get your
system.
phone?
No, I'll be fine. Either way, Matthew Datcher agrees with the sentiment, saying streaming devices are so cheap. Why is there a need to bootleg them?
Well,
It's
not
the content
Yeah, it's
that's
not the
free.
device.
Exactly.
Yeah, the devices are cheap for sure, but like it's really for folks who don't want to pay iTunes to download a movie. They don't want to pay Netflix for that monthly subscription fee.
There was one app that offered free Netflix, and what it does is it takes stolen credentials and it cycles through them, so like the person that has their Netflix account hacked like is never suspicious. Like I think somebody's been watching on my stuff.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it'll if you use this, also that one like has malware too.
Of course.
But like if you used it, it was basically like okay, you would just hop onto someone else's Netflix account and it keeps like switching.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's my point. Like, if you don't want to pay for Netflix, like this is something that they offer,
Right.
but they also like steal your data and you're
So
like,
that's the cost.
yeah.
Yep.
Lowcast, by the way.
Oh yeah, Lowcast.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a great app. I'm enjoying so far. Donation based too, so like it's kind of pay what you can.
Yep.
All right, so when it comes to the hack software, I have an Amazon Fire TV stick, and once upon a time, I put Kodi on it. Am I in trouble?
No, unless you like Kodi is a good like media like managing app.
Yep.
You like most people like put Kodi on their devices so they can watch like DVDs that they converted on their own or something like
Right.
that, or music that they like uploaded through their own library. But Kodi does like open up the capabilities to download these other apps that like have malware on it.
Right.
Like that's where like you run into trouble. It's not like Kodi itself, but like these like bootleg streaming services that offer things like with deals that are way too good to be true.
Yep.
And that happens in instances both if you purchase this secondhand bootlegged
Yeah.
cracked device, or if you incidentally install that software yourself, right?
Yeah, yeah. Most likely it'll happen if you like bought it somewhere though. Like these were on sale on like eBay,
Yeah,
Facebook Marketplace,
yeah.
Craigslist. One of the sellers that the researcher found like walked out of a Department of Labor building in DC and like handed it off to him for like $50.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone's out to get you these days. Every single well has been poisoned at this point, it feels like.
Yeah, just don't go online or do anything.
Yeah. Really, just stay at home and close the blinds and shades. Don't turn on any devices.
What if
Buy
there's
only
what if there's a
DVDs.
malware laced like Kodi channel for the 359?
Oh, don't even. You just challenged the internet to make
I'm
one.
gonna make one.
Nice going, dude.
Great. We're out of time, though, folks. Alfred, thanks for bringing that up, because that was a really interesting one. I'm glad that we're raising awareness about that. We'll link your story. It's in the description of the show, and there's that full document spreadsheet thing with all the different information and listing some of the troubled apps and whatnot that's in there, so you guys can go take a closer look and, take care of yourselves. But Thursday is our Friday. That's it for us for the week. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Roger?
Yeah.
Smash that like button. That's our new sign off now.
That is not our new sign off, by the way. The 359 is available on iTunes, TuneIn, FeedBurner, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, the Amazon Echo, of course, CNET.com. We'll see you all next week.
Bye, folks.
Bye.